You expect some tension when living under an HOA, random rule changes, petty complaints, a board that thinks it's Congress. But what happened last month at our community center went far beyond micromanagement. It became a full-on confrontation when my nephew, Malik, was mistaken for a trespasser and physically confronted by two overzealous HOA volunteers. What they didn't know was that Malik serves in the United States Air Force. Not only that, he's part of the security forces, trained in combat, de-escalation, and base protection. The man literally handles base intrusions, security threats, and unruly individuals for a living. And now two self-important HOA enforcers decided they were going to restrain him? Buckle up. A normal Saturday goes south. My nephew was visiting me for the weekend while on leave from his base in North Dakota. I'd bragged to him about the new community gym our HOA just finished building, and since Malik's a workout fiend, we walked down together Saturday morning to check it out. He brought his own ID and guest pass. HOA rules are strict about that. I scanned us in, showed him around, and then let him go through a few solo reps while I ran back home to grab towels. 10 minutes later, I heard shouting through my open window. I ran out to find a small crowd forming just outside the gym entrance. There in the middle of it stood Malik, calm but visibly tense, as two HOA volunteers stood inches from him, one holding what looked like zip-tie cuffs and the other talking into a walkie-talkie like he was SWAT. "He's not on the resident registry," one man barked. "He refused to provide ID." "I literally did provide it," Malik replied, measured. "You didn't even scan it. You took one look and decided it wasn't valid." "He refused to leave," the other added. "We're authorized to detain." The moment everything changed. Malik looked at them like they were children playing cops and robbers. "Let me make something clear," he said evenly. "I'm part of the 319th Security Forces Squadron. I've been trained to detain armed threats, defend federal air bases, and de-escalate situations exactly like this one. You're violating HOA policy, but more importantly, you're skating close to a federal offense trying to unlawfully restrain a service member." At that moment I arrived. One of the HOA men turned to me. "Is he your guest?" "Yeah, he's my nephew, and I already checked him in. Ask the gym cameras." A few neighbors murmured in agreement. Someone else pulled up the HOA portal on their phone, confirming the guest entry. But Malik wasn't done. "Unless you have legitimate law enforcement credentials, you trying to restrain me is called false imprisonment. If I wanted to, I could call my base, and you'd have military police on your doorstep explaining the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act to you." Silence. The HOA guys backed off immediately, the one with the zip ties shoving them back in his pocket like a guilty teenager caught with spray paint. The fallout. Turns out these two volunteers had been given vague instructions by the HOA board to be firm with unknown guests, and they took that as license to play neighborhood enforcer. Once the HOA president heard the full story and realized Malik's background, there was immediate damage control. An official apology was sent. The board suspended both volunteers from duty. Malik, ever the professional, declined to press charges. "I don't need to ruin someone's life," he said, "but they needed to know I'm not the one." I couldn't be prouder of him. He handled it better than most would. He stayed calm, used his training, and de-escalated two untrained men who thought they were starring in an action movie. The lesson. Here's what gets me. The people who shout the loudest about supporting the troops often don't recognize one standing right in front of them. Malik didn't demand special treatment. He followed the rules. But the HOA didn't want a young black man with military ID. They wanted someone they knew, someone that looked like their kind of resident. Too bad for them. Our kind of resident includes a federal security professional who doesn't back down from fake authority.